Hello and welcome to this channel. In this video, I want to show you 5 tips that you can use to read more books faster in 2023. For your information, reading really helps you to develop yourself and become more successful. And it is often said that the average millionaire read 52 books a year or one book every week. And since 2019 to now, I have resolved to read at least one book every week, and I have been committed to this goal. In fact, some of the weeks I'm able to even read 2 books. And I tell you that reading has helped me to multiply my monthly income by 6 times from the amount I used to make as of that time. And I know a lot of people are there that will say, oh, I don't see how reading will help me. I don't know whatever type of person you are, the profession or the work you do, but I tell you the truth. If you make time to read, you will never be the same person. And when I'm talking about reading, I am not talking about reading academic books. Though if you want to read academic books, this video will still help you to read. But the reason why I'm saying so is that there are most of you who believe that you believe reading will not help you to succeed in life because what you read in school has never been helpful to you in any way. Yes, what you learn in school might not have helped you, but what I want you to know is that whatever you want to become now, reading can help you to become that. I have read over 272 books in the last 4 years, and all these books that I have read, they have accumulatively, since I completed my bachelor's degree, I've not gone to do a master's or PhD, but I know that even if I had gone to do master's or PhD, I wouldn't have read up to the number of books I have read. And then what I am reading now, the most important thing is that there are books that are tailored towards practical things that are helping me every day. You know, to make more money, you really need to have more skills or be able to do serve people. And all the books that I am reading, as you can see them here and all that, this is just some few of them. These are books that are written by practical entrepreneurs or people who are successful in their field and they practice what they have written. And since I have been reading those books, it has really been so life-changing. So I want to assure you, if you read books, you are going to be very successful. Just like the way we have a lot of successful people who have not, most of them, you see that they haven't really gone far in school. And I can give examples. You see Mark Zuckerberg, you see Bill Gates, you see Warren Buffett, you see Elon Musk, and all the successful people, especially in the area of business, they are people who haven't gone far in school. Most of them either bachelor's degree or they have dropped out. They don't even have a bachelor degree, but they are very successful. Do you think they have built all those multinational corporations without understanding what they did? They read a lot. They read into those fields, those areas. Elon Musk, like this, is a very crazy reader. Just like Mark Zuckerberg, like Bill Gates, they are very crazy readers. People who read a lot of books. Someone was also telling me that they read because they have time. No, you have to create a time for it. So now I'm going to just give you the 5 tips that you have to use so that it will help you to be able to read more books. So let's go. The number 1 thing that you need to do that will help you to read more books is read books that are interesting to you. Don't read any boring book. You see, if you take a particular book to read and you see that from the introduction to the first chapter, it's not really moving you, you are not really passionate about reading it, my advice is that drop it and look for another one. Because it's true, you can discipline yourself to read certain books to the end, but there are certain books to, once you are reading and it is not interesting, you don't have the passion to read it to the end. So at the end of the day, you struggle to even finish it. But if the book is interesting, like one of the first books I read that helped me to read more books is Think and Grow Rich. From the day I read the introduction to chapter 1, I couldn't even put it down. So sometimes I even read it up to 12 a.m., 1 a.m. before I sleep. So read books that are interesting to you. Don't read any boring book. Last month, I was reading a book called The Unfair Advantage. How you already have what it takes to succeed. And I tell you that book is a very powerful book. From the day I began that book, I read it till 12 a.m., even around 1 a.m. before I slept. When I slept the following day, I continued reading it, and any little chance I got, I was always reading the book. So it's because the book was interesting to me. There are some books that I picked them to read, and from the first to the second chapter, I couldn't read to the end up to now. There are a lot of books I have started to read, but I couldn't finish. It's because they were not interesting to me. So my advice is, whether you are into business, whether you are a tailor or a fashion designer or a trader in the market, whatever that you do, there are books about what you do, and you can look for books in that field, read and improve upon yourself. If you want to be the best in your field, you have to read in that field. You have to have more knowledge than any other person in that field, and you can make it big. There are some things that you have to have practical experience, but reading will also help you. Even sometimes the idea to have the practical experience will even come, you are even going to get some of them through the books that will help you on how to get that practical experience. So I encourage you, look for books that you are passionate about, books that interest you. And if you are reading a certain book that is not interesting, drop it and go to the one that you really like. Okay, so that's the first point. The second point is, you have to read more ebooks than printed books. All the number of books that I just mentioned, majority of them are ebooks I read. About 80% of the books I read that I'm talking about are ebooks. I read paperback books too. But the thing is that we are in a digital world where almost everything that we need are on our phones. And we're always with our phones everywhere. So I found a way to read through my phone, so using the ebook reader. So wherever I am, I'm always reading. For example, when I was coming to work, I was reading. When I'm about to sleep, I read. When I am, sometimes maybe I'm in a car or I'm at somewhere waiting, I am reading. So you have to read more ebooks. You have to read more ebooks than printed books. So if you and for you, your information, if you don't know where to get ebooks for free, check the link in the description above. I did a whole video on the top websites that you can follow to read more, to be able to download more ebooks for free. Okay, so you check the link above. So the second is, you read more ebooks than printed books. The third one is, you have to use an e-reader. An e-reader is an app that can read an ebook for you. So for example, there are several apps, but the one that I use that has been helping me for the past 4 years is Pocket Book Reader. And that particular, the ebook, it can really read any book that is in PDF or EPUB or any other document format. I'm able to use it to read more books, and it's very faster. The language is clear. There are so many customizations that you can do inside it. You can even be reading when you're walking. You can be sometimes I could be jogging and I'm reading it. I'm reading using my phone with the app. I can maybe be sleeping and even be reading a book. I can be sitting in a car and reading a book. I can be wherever. I read using that ebook reader, and it is really very helpful. Okay, so if you don't know how to use it, check the link above, follow that video. You will be able to learn how to download Pocket Book Reader and how to use it to read more books. Okay, so that's the third one. The fourth thing that you need to do if you want to read more books is, you have to set a time for reading. You have to set a time for reading. That's very, very important. A lot of people are not able to read more because they don't have a definite time that they designate for reading. So anytime they feel like reading, they read. If they don't feel like reading, they don't read. So if you do that, you see that in the whole week, maybe you would have read. Sometimes you may even not read within the whole week. You might not have even read even one page or one chapter, and it's because you didn't take time. You didn't make time for reading. But if you make a certain time for reading, for example, every day, you say from when you wake up from bed, let's say 5 o'clock, from 5 to 5:30 or from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, you are going to read use that time for reading, or maybe for reading and then for spiritual activities. And so you see that every day when you wake up at that time, you have to do it. If you don't even do it, it will look like there is something wrong with you. And that's exactly what I have been doing. Every day I read. And I have 2 times for reading. I read early morning and then when I'm about to sleep. So when I wake up, after I pray and I come and sit on the table, the first thing I do is I read. So when I read, then after about 30 minutes to 1 hour, I can stop and do other activities before I leave for work. But reading is a key thing that I do. So I read in the morning. Then when I'm about to sleep again, I read for about 30 minutes before I sleep. So how do I do that? Sometimes I may be finding it even difficult to sleep, and because of the phones, you'll be watching a lot of things online. So what I do is I have disciplined myself that when I'm about to sleep, I have to read for some number of minutes. So when I read, by the time I will even realize I would have slept. So along the way, when I sleep, I put it off. When I'm about to sleep, I put it off. But it helped me to put me into the mood for sleep. So either I normally sometimes can let the ebook be playing, the ebook reader be playing, and be reading the book, and I'll be listening and be lying down, be going to following the words, and as it reads, I will listen to it. Or sometimes what I do is that I just have to play it like an audio and then close it and just put it down, just let it be connected to my ears. I'm lying and just listening to it. So that is how I do it. So you set a definite time. When you set a time for reading and you make it a routine task, every day you have to do it. When it becomes normal to you, even any day you don't read, you will feel very bad. So that is what you need to do. Then the last one I will say is you have to set a goal of the number of pages you want to read, whether the number of pages you want to read per day or the number of books you want to read per week or month. Set a goal to do that. So for example, I set a goal to read at least 5 pages a day, at least, even if I don't read at all, 5 pages a day. And sometimes I can read even 20 or 30, even because I'm using the app. So you have to make sure that you have a goal that you want to reach every day. Tell yourself that if you don't read this number of pages, then you won't stop. So when you make it a goal every day, you will see that it's habitual. And sometimes, as I was saying, I can be jogging and be reading. By the time I've jogged for some 15 minutes, I have read probably a chapter, or maybe I've read maybe some 3 or 4 pages or close to a chapter. Or maybe sometimes I can jog up to 30 minutes in the morning. Or maybe sometimes I can even decide to walk to go and do something. So because when I walk, I'm able to exercise, and along the way I'm reading. So I'm benefiting at the same time. I'm exercising and I'm also reading. If you do this, it is going to help you. You will see that you'll be more productive. You will know a lot of things. You'll be more healthier, and you become more successful in general. I believe this video has blessed your life. Please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell. I will continue to produce powerful videos that will help you to succeed in life. Once again, have a great day. Bye.